Okay, fellas, listen up. This is a big chance for us to make history for the club tonight and win our first game in the Champions League. Now, we're at home, we're playing Fenerbahce, and everybody knows Turkish teams are rubbish in Europe. So let's get out there, let's get the points, and more importantly, the money.
Jarune, za tebe mi dijete diše, tu je važno samo jedno, nogomet i ništa više.
Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Jarun on the Impossible Dream. It is Season 4, Episode 8, and today it's Fenerbahce at home. It is the one game that I really think we can win in this season's Champions League phase. And then we're going to have Istra in the league. It is the final game before the winter break, the final game before the transfer window opens. So, yeah, we'll have we can have a discussion of where we go moving forward from that. But the big news is that we've got our youth intake preview. Now, looks okay here, I've got to say. Excellent intake is what it's rated is. Now, we know that we have spent a lot of money improving the youth facilities and the coaching and the recruitment and whatnot. So we would be, I would think, expecting a good youth intake here. So let's hope that we get it. And yeah, well, obviously we will see. We've seen in the past these things aren't always the most accurate, but if it is even kind of accurate, then well, we've got a golden generation coming, don't we? Now, there's two games to catch you up on since we left you last episode. The first of those in the league was against Hajduk Split, so let's go see how we did. We went ahead late on when Persa played in Fillet. So just the one goal in this one. We were more than good enough to win it. You can see here, away from home as well, we absolutely dominated the game in everything but possession, really, and goals. So yeah, it was good enough, maybe not spectacular. Pranjic and Pajic made their returns from injury, so they were lacking a little bit of match sharpness, which maybe affected their performances a little bit. But all in all, a good 3 points on the road. Other game to catch you up on, again on the road, was against Lokomotiva. We fell behind early, but were quickly level when Rakic played in Rezic for his first Jarun goal. We were behind again just after half-time through a Kazina own goal. And it was then 3-1 after 71 minutes and 4-1 in the 85th. So, not a good result, that goes without saying. We were both the better team, but also poor in this game. It was a really, really strange one. You can see we had more than 59% possession. We out-XG'd them, more shots. We just couldn't get anything, never mind on target, but never mind the back of the net, but on target. Rezic got his first goal for the club. I'll show you him in just a second here. This was the sort of game where it made me sort of think a little bit like, someone like Pranjic. Is he really, I mean, he's been brilliant for us so far, but is he really the play we need going forward? Tregrenic, who I've just given an extension to, but again, do we need to look to move him on? Kazina, his own goal didn't help his cause there, but yeah, there's a few players in this one that I just started to think, and it's not a good time for me to be thinking it with January just around the corner. You know, maybe your time with us is done, but we'll see. We'll see. You don't want to judge too much on one game, but we need these players to be winning these games for us, not getting smashed. Now, this Rezic, let's have a look at him. You may or may not remember we picked him up. He was on a non-contract at Dugja here. And yeah, we're retraining him as a deep-lying forward. He was more of a number 10 when we got him in. But we're really, really thin up front right now. And I think he's only 17. I think there is still the chance he could develop into a deep-lying forward for us. So we'll see how he goes. It was his first career goal. First goal for us, obviously. And yeah, hopefully we get a good player out of him. Now, as for the league standings, that result did hurt us because we had gone clear of Dinamo. They had dropped more points, but obviously us losing to Lokomotiva, who are a good team themselves this season. You can see them there, up there in 4th. So we're a point off top, but given where we were a couple of games into the season, that is still just magnificent, really, to see us that up, continuing to challenge for the title. So, it's Fenerbahce. Let's see what we're doing here. Now, we're expecting a bus park, a 7-3 from them. And this is the team that we are sending out, except this guy's got injured, so we'll need to make a change. We are, as you can see, very thin on the ground. Tommy G not quite back for this one, which is a little bit disappointing. That would have been a nice little bonus to get him in if we could have. But anyway, it's Priscilla in goal. It is Priscilla's recent form actually not being crash hot. Hopefully he picks it up here. Bekanic, Hartman and Zebic, the usual back three. Havoy, Rovis, Dashka, Nunez, Tolik, Fillet and Matanovic goes as the advanced forward in this one. As you said, what's his face? Tommy G is injured. Pranjic is not playing well. So the front two, in many respects, pick themselves. All right, so we can see the team sheets here now. Livakovic, obviously, he is Croatian. We had him way back when I was at Aston Villa at some point, I think, on the channel. But Batshuayi's there. Abubakar, Fred, I'm assuming that's Manchester United, Fred. Under, he was at Roma, was he not, at one point? It's a very typical. David De Gea is on their bench as well. Ryan Kent, Emre Moore, he's been West Ham, if not in real life, and certainly in a game that we've seen before. This guy's name looks familiar too. I don't know if we've had him before. But yeah, I mean, it's a typical Turkish side, isn't it? It's a lot of, oh, that's where he ended up sort of players. So let's go out there. Let's show the world you've got what it takes. I mean, a win here, just in terms of money and coefficient points, would be huge for us. But of course, if we were to pick up 3 points here, it would give us 5 points. Not only does that keep our slight chance of progressing beyond the league phase alive, but Dinamo Zagreb got 3 points in the league phase last season. It gives us a chance to better them. So it's actually a 4-4-2 that we're coming up against here. So this is the third game in a row we faced a 4-4-2. So that's interesting. We did okay against Hajduk, not so much against Lokomotiva. But like I said, the Lokomotiva... Sorry, I just got a bit of a... I don't know if I've got a cat here in my nose, so it's running a little bit. Yeah, it's just... the Lokomotiva game was just strange. Like, we dominated. It was one of those... I guess you'd call it an FMing. Except we were terrible at the same time that we outplayed them. It was just such a weird game. But anyway, it's done now. It's behind us. And hopefully... come the end of the season, it's not one that's going to cost us a title or anything. We get that clear. Here we go with Philip. Nunez wins it back. Nicely done for him. Wide for Hovoi. I'd love to go in front in this one, especially if we can do it early on. We're back at Dinamo Zagreb's home ground. The last game against Chelsea, was it our last home game? It was actually at our home stadium now, because we set a Champions League record. Oh, it's an own goal again. It's Hartman, is it? And we have fallen behind in the game I really want to win. It's Fred of all people. Oh, there's not much going on there, is there? He almost could have let it run across goal, and he's doing his best John Travolta from whatever, Greece or something. I don't know. All right, that's fine. It's fine. We'll get him next time. Come on, boys. Bekanic gets it forward there for Nunez. Nunez gets the ball forward for Matanovic to try and run onto Rovers. It's straight to him. He crosses the back post. Fillet is there, and the goalkeeper makes a save, does he? He does. It said what a miss. I mean, if the goalkeeper makes a save, it's not really a miss, is it? Tolik, ball to the back post. Goalkeeper comes out a long way. And that will be that. Now, Livakovic would have played here, I think, when he was at Dinamo Zagreb. What I was saying is, yeah, so we set a record low attendance at 5,000, which is not necessarily a record we want, but it does kind of, it'll go in the record books to show what a small team we have been. This is really disappointing, guys. Really disappointing. We're going to berate them. And again, maybe it shows I've underestimated Fenerbahce. Not that I've underestimated them. We've rested our best team and put out our best team, but we're certainly not playing particularly well here. So let's try and trap them inside, which is maybe what we should have been doing anyway. We'll berate the boys, try and get them back concentrating and doing something worthwhile. But yeah, we're not really getting much possession. We're not. They scored from their only 2 shots, which is always infuriating when that happens. But this is just really. This has broken my heart. This one. I think partly because I genuinely thought we could beat them, and maybe we can. Still we came from 2 goals down to get a draw against AC Milan. But after our first 2 games when we had 2 points. I certainly wouldn't have thought we'd be finishing the group on 2 points. That's for sure. So, are we just going to get into half-time here? Let's give it a focus. I mean, we've not been terrible. We've not really created anything. So I think we say we've been terrible. We try and motivate them that way. We've got faith in you all to be better. And I mean, Matanovic is having a great game. Do we want Pranjic out there? Let's give Matanovic a little bit of time to try and get himself back on board here. We'll encourage them. And can we get an early goal in the second half? Tolik with a ball to the back post. It's in, and it's Nunez with a header. Well, that's would have been very low down the list of ways I would have thought we'd score today. So we are back in the game. It is 2-1, and it's essentially half time still. It's the 40s. Oh, Nunez. He's beaten Fred and Abubakar to the ball. Livakovic couldn't get back across, and well, let's see if we can go and get another one now. Hartman only playing a 6-2. Matanovic on a booking as well. Havoy's got an injury. Well, that's not ideal. That's going to mean Pajic coming on. And here we go now with Rovis, who loses out. Bit of a apocalyptic touch there, wasn't it? Well, the next goal is huge, isn't it? If they get back into a 2-goal lead, I mean, my heart would sink, never mind the players. So these two have clearly had it coming together, haven't they? And they've both taken a bit of a knock because Havoy doesn't... Yeah, he needs to come off. Philip wins it back for us, though. Brilliant stuff. Priscilla for Bekanic. Bekanic for Dashka. Nunez. Nunez for Matanovic. Oh, it's a nicely done. Tolik. Tolik for Havoy. He's limping down the touchline. Can he do something? It's there for Philip! And it's 2-2! Maybe we can go and win this one. Havoy hobbling along. It'll be his last action before he gets subbed off. And he's done enough. So I wonder if Aussie has got a bit of an injury as well, and that's why he couldn't get back. But a cracking finish from Philip. And it's 2-2, and we have turned it around in 10 second half minutes. Magnificent stuff. Let's keep encouraging them. Now let's hope that the subs don't hurt us. Pajic is still coming back to match sharpness, and so is Pranjic, to be honest. Pranjic is looking nervous. But I think Pranjic has earned himself some Champions League time. I don't think he's had any yet. Here he is here. Gets it wide looking for Pajic, but can't quite find him. Pranjic putting a bit of pressure on the goalkeeper. It works out for us. Zebic forward there for Pajic. Back we go to Zebic. Hartman. Nice one for Dashka. Dashka, it's a bit of a loose one. Tolik. Pranjic is in. We go wide instead for Pajic. Pajic crosses. Let's fill it. It's just over the top. Oh, that looked a chance, didn't it? All right, we've definitely come back into this one, though. Let's give them some more encouragement. We've got some nervous players out there now, which is not ideal. Tolik is one of them, and he's not having a great game. Let's get Purser on. Dashka wins it back. Dashka for Philip. Oh, can't quite, but Rover should... Oh, he just couldn't get there. It's fallen for Pranjic. Pranjic is in, and Pranjic has scored. And it is 3-2, and we have turned it around. What a Jarun performance this is. And, well, maybe we are going to get the 3 points here. It wasn't a great clearance. Rovers, I'm not sure who won that, but it's fallen for Pranjic. The defence had fallen asleep, and Pranjic tucks it away beautifully. And just when I was thinking his time at the club was done, well, maybe not. Let's give them some praise now. And, I mean, we were a little bit unlucky to be 2 goals down, weren't we? Certainly in terms of the amount of chances that they'd had. I want to go back to positive, please, game there. And, well, we've turned it around beautifully in the second half. We're not done yet. We've got a free kick to defend now. It's headed away, and again. And it's not completely cleared. Purser, can he do anything? No. Pajic, can he stop a cross coming in? He can't. It's Bekanic in the middle. It's cleared away. Philip can't quite get there. And eventually, Pajic has got it. It's tackled away again. We can't get possession here. And are we going to pay a apply? It's Braswari. It was a well-taken goal, wasn't it? It was a very well-taken goal. And in the end, we just couldn't keep possession to get it clear. Was it Kent that won it back? And Braswari went around Hartman. I think if we have a sub left, Rakic can come on for him. And, yeah, it's not been Hartman's day, has it? An own goal and then that. Is there another goal in this game for us? Can we go and get this first Champions League win? To come from 2-0 down to get to 3-2, it's so disappointing to go and concede. 6 minutes of stoppage time. I did change half the team, so it's not surprising, perhaps. Oh, don't lose it. Nunez clears it away. Can't find anybody up there, though. And we go again. Come on. It's over the top. It's Pajic. It's... Oh. What a miss. I think we deserve that little bit of luck, if I'm honest. So 3-3. Oh, that is so disappointing. And I guess to get a draw in the Champions League, and it's just disappointing. So I think with that result goes any realistic chance that we had of maybe getting through into the knockout rounds. We would need to definitely win our last 2 games now. That would take us to 9 points, which might be enough, but there's a lot of teams there that are going to get to 9 points as well. They're only 2-3 points off of that. So, yeah, bit disappointing, but we'll take another draw, won't we? That's equal now with how Dinamo Zagreb did. So, Youthful Jarun draw with Fenerbahce. Some more teams have guaranteed their way through. It's a gash leg for Havoy, but breaks coming up. That'll be fine. 800 grand more or less in the bank. Fill it with a goal and an assist. He just continues to be magnificent for it, doesn't he? But guys, wait right there. We'll be back to face Istra and wrap up the first half of the season. Alright, welcome back. Well, the board have given us a nice little bit of a boost coming into January. I asked for an increase in the transfer budget. They delivered up to almost £6 million. And then I asked for an increase in the revenue that we would retain. And that's now gone up to 50%. So that is huge coming into January. We've got some decisions to make now as to exactly who does have a future, who doesn't, and what we can do to try and strengthen the team. Now, let's go and have a look at what we're doing here against Istra. Now, they are currently 8th in the league. They're struggling a little bit. We're expecting a 4-2-3-1 out of them. And this is the team that we are sending out. Priscilla in goal, Bekenic, Shrubak, and Rakic as the back three. Pajic, he's got a heavy match load, but he's the only fit right back we have, so he goes there with Rovers down the left. Dunban Jack is going to be the number DM person with Tolik and Purser in midfield. Fillet and Pranjic will come in. Pranjic has a heavy match load as well, but he did well, didn't he, last game, so we'll give him the start. A couple of guys to point out to you that are academy players that are really starting to train on. Sven Hosevic, he is a right back. We're trying to train him into a wing back at the same time as develop him, and he's starting to show signs he's going to be very, very good for us. And the other one, and we've seen him on the field from time to time, is Brigic, another one that is really starting to train on and looking as though he's going to be a very good player, useful player coming into the future couple of seasons here, I should say. So they're both 17. I think, is this guy 17? He's still 16. He's still 16. So yeah, 3-4 years time, these guys are going to be key players for us, I think. So that's excellent to see. All right, let's go do this. All right, so we can see the team sheets there. Do we recognise anybody? I mean, this is essentially our feeder club, isn't it? So we might be signing one or two of these guys the way we've been going in previous windows. We're the favourites. All right, let's try and be a little bit more positive here and see what we can do. I'm still disappointed about Fenerbahce. We did actually break the Champions League goal scoring record in that one. We have 34 goals now. The record was PSG's 31. Now, we did get quite a few in qualifying, didn't we? So let's be honest, that has contributed to that. But anyway, we'll take the record and run. And so we need to figure out what we want to do in terms of positions and who we sign in January. Now, one thing that I will say is that because we're scouting the world now, we're getting so many more players that become available to us. Now, another thing the board did approve was an extra scout. I mean, we've got 6 of them now. We want to have. You can never have too many scouts. I always think if we could have enough scouts to put one in every country in the world, then I'd do it. But obviously, we're nowhere near. I don't think any club could do that, to be honest. But that's basically where I'm at. If we had 220 odd scouts, then I'd say, yeah, you know what, we've got enough. But yeah, so what I don't want to do is go and sort of splurge all the money this window and then come when it closes and we find a better player. Oh, decent save. I find a better player that that I wish I hadn't spent our money on, to save for him. Now, we need to find the main problem we need to solve on this team is goalkeeper, because I think every season so far we've had, the exception being, who was that moron that we signed that was terrible? He was like 36, like Miri Tanovic or something. With the exception of him, we've always had a loanee goalkeeper. So I would be very much in favour of finding a goalkeeper and signing him. Now, Priscilla could be our man. There is a little bit of a transfer fee there, but obviously we can afford that now. And he's been solid for us for the most part. Maybe not always, but for the most part, I'd say he's been solid. But we've got him till the end of the season, so what we don't need to do is we don't need to sign him now. We can hold on to him to the end of the season, and then if we want to go, oh, this is looking dangerous, and we go 1-0 down. Yeah, we can then go and sign him at the end of the season if that's what we want to do. I did have a bid just to see roughly what is it Mostar, I think, the Bosnian side, I think is where he's at. Just to see, he's got to do better there. I mean, that's not making me want to sign you, mate. Yeah, just to see roughly what they would want, and it was about 1.2 million, I think, which for him I think is maybe a little much. So, and like I say, we're not under any pressure to sign him because we've got him till the end of the season anyway. I do think if now the other thing, of course, is that Europe is going to be. We've got 2 games left. The first of which is the first game back from the winter break. So by the time the league starts up again, we'll only have one more non-league game to go because we're out of the cup. We'll be out of Europe. Oh, it's Prangi just hit the post. It's fallen for Philip. And he's 13th of the season, draws us level against his former team as well, of course. And, well, there we go. 1-1. So, we don't need to go and necessarily sign players that because we've... Oh, Prangi just so unlucky there, isn't he? Because I think we're a centre-back short right now, and most of that is just being down to injuries, and then selling Graf, who as I said at the time, I don't think was going to make it with us anyway. And I think we're possibly a striker short, but again, a lot of that has been down to just injuries, and we've got an injury to pulled knee ligaments, so we'll have to take off our DM. We could bring Dashka on. Okay, let's go with we're not happy, because we should be beating Istra quite comfortably. Or we could bring Brigic on. Let me have a think about what we want to do there. If Dashka's motivated, let's bring on a motivated Dashka that's a little bit tired. Because again, we've got about a month off after this, so plenty of time to recover. So, yeah, I think my plan going into it is just, if we see somebody that looks like they're value for money and sort of worst case scenario we could sell on, then we'll do it. Otherwise, we probably don't need to. I mean, we want to try and beat Dinamo, and the fact that we could be out of Europe, and depending how this game goes, of course, but only be a point behind them, that could be huge. Now, when I checked Dinamo, they were doing in the goal, and it's Tolik with his 9th of the season. Dashka with the assist, and early in the second half, it's now 2-1. Yeah, I checked Dinamo. It was about halfway through. They're in the Europa Conference League phase, and I think they were just inside the progression places, the qualification places. So whether we kind of want them to do well in that, because it'll help the league coefficient, and that will obviously what ideally we want is that there's 2 Champions League qualification places, and that would more or less then, it looks like anyway, guarantee us Champions League football. It would be us and Dinamo, and then the rest of the league will sort of go, oh, that is stunning! Marko Tolik! He's hit that from Serbia. That is from a mile out. It's his 10th of the season, and there was absolutely nothing on here. Dashka has stolen an assist. He's taken a touch, turned, and it's almost unstoppable. It's difficult to blame the goalkeeper, despite the fact he's 7,000 yards out. What a strike from Marko Tolik. And what a signing he has been as well. It's such a shame, because he's getting on a bit, isn't he? He's already 30. And it's just such a shame, because he's potentially, I mean, maybe we will have him till he's 40. Certainly the way he's going, he's not showing any signs of slowing down. And having gone behind in the 33rd minute, we have been absolutely brilliant since then, haven't we? Now, do we want to make any subs here? Give some youngsters some game time, perhaps? Islamovic, I wouldn't mind giving him some game time. He's one of our academy players that we're trying to drive on. You can see there's a bit of potential there. Not becoming less convinced he's going to make it, but we want to give him every chance that we can. Pajic is coming back. Looks a bit tired. Let's get this. The kid was coming back from injury too, wasn't he? So let's maybe leave that. Who else is on the bench? Brigic? No. Okay, I think we're good to go with that then. And here we go, Rovis. Maybe not completely his fault there. All right, but we still have possession. Dashka for Bekenic. And Rovis, purse up. I do think centre-back is something we need to try and address as well, because two of the centre-back, we arguably are one short. Kazina is increasingly not looking like he's good enough for us. I mean, even in the league, he's not really putting in good performances. Oh, it's a wonderful pullback for Tolik. Rovis has buried it, but Marko Tolik, man of the match yet again. And if he doesn't win player of the season in the league, then I don't know what everybody else is watching. He has been scoring for fun, he's been assisting for fun, and look at that. It's just the perfect pick out, isn't it? And Rovis made zero mistake. So both, or two of our three, anyway, former Istra players have scored. The other one's gone off injured, so... yeah, for every cloud, I suppose, for them. It's offside. Surely that's offside. Is it not offside? Yeah, I was going to say. No, it's not offside. Wow. Well, it was a wonderful save from Priscilla. And that is that. Anyway, 4-1, we're going to win this one, which is good. It didn't look that way for a while, but we've definitely grown into the game. And as the game's gone by, we've put them in their place well and truly. So that is always a nice thing to do. We'll praise them again. And we could maybe give Philip a rest. Though we don't need to be honest, because, as I said, we've got a month off after this. Here we go now with Pajic. The good thing, too, is that with the Champions League money we've been getting, and it's a goal for Elias Philip. He's 14th of the season, and Pajic back on the assist front as well. Yeah, because of the way that the Champions League money has worked, well, the way money works in general, but we've been getting it in the Champions League, we don't have to play constant friendlies either to keep the books balanced. And it's a lot easier now too, because we can get almost 100 grand a game, because I'm assuming Champions League side. So people will want to come and see us outside, in a friendly environment. So we can go off to Germany and Italy and get quite a bit of money. But 5-1 there, that's not too bad, is it? That puts the pressure on Dinamo ahead of their next game, and we'll go off and enjoy a winter break now. So that was a good one for the old goal difference after it took a hit against Lokomotiva. And like I say, it puts the pressure on Dinamo now ahead of their game. If they don't win, we're top at the winter break, top at Christmas. So Dunvenjak gets one over Istra, as do Philip and Rovis, our three former historians. Tolik, brilliant. That second strike was just goal of the season contender, if not worthy. So yeah, it's just been a very, very good outing, that one. So disappointing against Fenerbahce. That was our chance, wasn't it? We're at home to Lons in the next one. They are 20th, so they're by no means setting the competition alight. So we'll come back. I think what we're going to try and do, I think this is going to be a very busy transfer window for us. So I think what we'll do is we'll come back. I'll sort of play through the January window for sort of the first half of the episode. Then we'll come back and face Lons, and then we can do Torino and Dinamo Zagreb as the last episode of the week. I think that kind of solves the problem of what games do we show when we've got 3 big games in 4 there. So, yeah, until then, guys, I've been Aussie. I hope you enjoyed that one. Take care.